the church. You are the church. We are the church together. All who follow Jesus all around the world. Yes, we are the church together. Yes, we are the church together. Yes, we are the church together.
I am the church, you are the church. We are the church together. All who follow Jesus all around the world. We are the church together.
Welcome to our annual report video. We're delighted that we're able to do it this way now. Back in 2007, we tried to do video with the missions committee, and I guess they were just a little bit ahead of their time. I want to begin by thanking all of our staff and our many church volunteers, all the folks that have supported our church through, frankly, a very difficult time. We've all had to find new ways, make adjustments, and it hasn't been easy. But across the board, I think everybody has been doing the very best they could manage. Despite COVID and an incredibly difficult year, our church is strong. We've all tried to stay connected, even with our programs and our meetings all on hold. And frankly, I'm just very proud of what we've been able to do together. I'd urge you to please listen carefully to the video of our church leaders as they talk a little bit about what their plans and hopes are. And I especially ask you to read carefully and gratefully the written reports and the report that's attached to this. When we are able to gather again in person and such, we will face a monumental task of rebuilding, and it's going to be a task that we'll all have to work on together. And the new normal, whatever that will be, isn't going to be what we've been used to in the past. We are going to be finding new ways to do ministry, new ways to honor and celebrate our God, and to reach out to our community. Our call is to commit ourselves afresh to God's will and to the Holy Spirit's guidance, instructing us and helping us all to participate with our gifts and our skills and trying to rebuild what we seem to have lost. The challenge before us, though, it's also a great opportunity for us to proclaim God's grace, God's love, and God's presence in this world in all new ways. We have a lot to celebrate, and let us join together in an annual report, appreciating what God has done for us and through us.
Hello, I'm Dinah Jentgen. I'm the Clerk of Session. It's been an interesting year, 2020. I started out new in January, and it's been a year of on-the-job training. My job entails 3 basic tasks. First, and the most obvious one, I suppose, is that I take notes at the session meetings. These are turned into minutes for the session to approve, and then they become the official record for the church. But as you know, everything changed in March, and suddenly we no longer had session meetings. And so now the new normal is that committees send requests for motions that they would like to have approved, and then I forward those to the entire session to ask for a motion, a second, and approval. And then I report on all of these different functions at the end of the month or every 2 months or so. I cannot imagine that things are going to change between now and December, so we're going to say that the new normal for my first job is to work electronically to bring the session to agreement and then to post the results. The second part of my job is one of my favorite. It's the fun one. It is my honor to participate in baptisms, new member commissionings, officer installations, and congregational meetings. You can probably see on your report copies that I have a whole page of statistics. And that's part of the statistics, counting the people who we are able to add to our church. The third part of my job is reports, and that's where we get down into the weeds. I give statistics, collect statistics, that I send to the Sierra Blanca Presbytery and to the General Assembly. Believe me, that job is still happening also. We are still having the baptisms, the new member commissionings, the congregational meetings, and so forth, and so we are still gathering new statistics. Thank you very much to the session for the great cooperation this year, for Linda, Henrika, and Vanessa, who have helped me to gather and put these statistics into some kind of an order. And thank you, all of you, for your support throughout the year.
I'm Dale. I'm the moderator for the Deacons this year, one of the bald guys. This past year has been unique and taxing on all of us as individuals and as a church congregation. By the grace of God, we have made it through, and we look forward to a much better year this coming year. Thanks to the generosity of the church, we were able to aid a number of people this past year. We had a successful hamburger fry, and we were able to give out many baskets for at Christmas time. We look forward to being able to continue our ministries with the food bank and helping the homeless and the Gospel Rescue Mission. We hope that assistance is not needed, but we are there if it is needed. We like to thank the church for their contribution again, and we look forward to continued support from the church. There are changes being made. We've all made changes in our lives and in our church system due to the virus this past year, and we are looking forward to a much better year with God's continuous guidance and leadership. We have a great group of deacons this year who are looking forward to serving the community and the church, and it is our hope and our prayer that you all have a prosperous new year and that things return to normal.
Greetings, First Presbyterian Church members. My name is Marsha Topley. I am the moderator of the Administration Committee. Along with me on this committee are J.C. Loman, Laura Conniff, and Wanda Mathis. We handled the business of the church. Last year we had a very good year. We enjoyed so much extra cash from people who gave entirely on their own, and we appreciate it so much. This coming year we hope to see it again. We hope to do the same business that we did last year in the fact that we helped so many people with the money that came in. We ask that you continue to give. We want you to know that it goes to all of the business of the church, as well as many individual relief checks go out too. We helped with rent, we helped with bills, and we want to try to do that again this year. Once again, thank you so much for all that you have done to help us in our mission.
My name is Rusty Smith, and I'm reporting on behalf of the Buildings and Grounds Committee. As you know, this year has been a challenge. We've had to deal with changes in how the buildings have been used and the availability of people to take care of them. And we've limped along with a great deal of help from individuals who've come in and pulled weed and take care of the plants and done all kinds of things on their own, and it has just been a tremendous support to the Buildings and Grounds Committee to know that people in the church have stepped up. This year we look forward to being able to reopen and use this wonderful complex that God has given us. I look forward to the days when we have kids running through the buildings and we're having to do more cleaning because of all the activity. Certainly this year, the main emphasis is going to be on making sure that the buildings are properly maintained and kind of picked up after the absence last year. There's a lot of tile work that needs to be done. There's landscaping work. And so we're going to keep busy as a committee, and certainly look out for messages from us from the pulpit and from the Good News and the bulletin to ask for help, because we will have, I'm sure we'll have a all-church work day this fall. And so look forward to seeing you for that. And thank you again for the tremendous support and help that we always receive from the congregation.
I'm Debra Smith, a member of the Christian Education Committee, and I'm standing in for Yolanda Kuntz, our moderator. In 2020, we began the year holding all of our usual programs, such as Sunday school for children age 4 through adults, as well as Vacation Bible School. Those programs were suspended in March due to the pandemic, and since then we have made different modifications to try to meet the needs of children through different approaches for Sunday school and other activities. We used a lectern-based curriculum which allows children to see the connection between what they're learning in class and what's being taught in the worship service, so the two are hopefully making a meaningful experience for the children. The 4-year-old and kindergarten program is led by Carol Goss and Judith Ames, while Aaron Taylor teaches the elementary children grades 1st through 5th. Karen Candusso teaches the youth classes. Reverend Larry Hicks taught the adult Bible study class, and Dr. Katie Brewer led the adult video class in the library. We had our helpers of Judy Ferguson and Natasha Galaz, as well as Samantha Armendariz, providing daycare for the children during the Wednesday evening services until we had to suspend our programs. Last spring, the Christian Education Committee ordered Lent devotionals, and we distributed them among the congregation and family. We also ordered a digital version for people to upload and read or pick up in church for the Advent season. While we've been really working to try to meet the needs of children during this time, it's been a challenge and less than ideal. Looking forward to the future, we hope to reinstate in-person programs as soon as it's deemed safe, and that will include all of our Sunday school classes, as well as Salt and Light and Vacation Bible School in the summer. We're also discussing providing possible additional services such as small group tutoring to help children as they transition back into the classroom. We will revisit projects such as congregation-produced Advent devotionals and hopefully new adult Bible study classes as well. So we are looking forward to improving and getting back to meeting in person in the near future.
Hi, my name is Karen Candusso, and I'd like to just update everyone about our children's programs here at First Presbyterian Church. Now, as everyone knows, we had to stop meeting back in March. We could no longer gather in large groups. But since then, our Salt and Light teachers and volunteers have been sending our children the curriculum weekly in the mail. Now, this is the same lessons that they would learn with us on Wednesday nights at our Salt and Light programs, along with fun activity sheets and crafts and family games and things that they can do at home to keep them connected to their faith. Now, as far as the youth goes, we know that they were not able to go on their trip to Denver last July with group missions for a mission trip. They worked very hard with the fundraisers, and they were all successful. So I want to thank you all and know that that trip will happen sometime in the future. One of our core missions right now is to really stay connected to the children, the youth, and the families, and let them know that we're here for them and that we love them and miss them so much. But going into 2021, we are hopeful and optimistic, and our main goal is to make sure that we can meet again with everyone's health and safety taken into strong consideration. So thank you, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
The college and young adult ministry at First Presbyterian Church has experienced several challenges during the COVID-19 pandemic, but the ministry continues with modifications. Monthly dinner nights, which typically include 25 to 30 guests, have taken the form of individual and small group gatherings outside in our yard during the summer and fall of 2020, with the positive result of more personal, face-to-face contact with each member of the group. We have stayed within the governor's guidelines and delayed our meetings during the upsurge of cases at Thanksgiving and the Christmas holiday season. Bible studies during 2020 were presented on Paul's letter to the Galatians and a biblical survey on hope, and were moved to Zoom online sessions. The results have been encouraging, despite my concerns that the students were already spending hours each day on their computers. A core group of about 8 young adults have expressed appreciation for these studies and requested that we continue meeting for emotional support during the crisis. The positive aspect of this arrangement is that students who have gone on to other parts of the United States where churches are still closed can join the meeting with us. We continue to be a support to those students who are far away from home, especially those with children who have had debilitating problems, such as sudden 50% reductions in graduate assistantship salaries at NMSU, their immigration status and the inability to work legally, and tuition fees. We are grateful for the work of the deacons who have helped as much as they can with rent, utility payments, and food baskets. Despite these obvious setbacks that have affected every ministry in our church, God has blessed us richly in our relationships with these young adults, and we continue to be assured that God indeed is with us and will see us through. Stay well, and God bless you and your family.
Hello, I'm Vicki Edwards, moderator of the Music and Worship Committee at First Presbyterian Church in Las Cruces, and I'd like to present our annual report for 2020. The Music and Worship Committee consisted of co-moderators Winnie Quincy and Vicki Edwards, members Elder Dinah Schroeder, music director Beth Borchert-Thomas, organist Howard Smolik, and youth deacon Will Schroeder. The committee also had tremendous support from other teams, including the sanctuary decor, young disciples speakers, the audiovisual crew, the equipment procurement team, the worship team, liturgists, and musicians. Our congregation has been so blessed to have a faithful worship team and staff. The pandemic gave birth to a much greater online presence, including live-streamed internet services. The full choir and handbell groups had to be disbanded temporarily, but our music team provided uplifting music all year. Here are the highlights for the year 2020. The organ was repaired and tuned in February and in the fall. The Ash Wednesday service was held on February 26th with guest artist Nancy Joy. Beth Borchert-Thomas led a drum circle with congregation members in March. Virtual worship began on March 15th in compliance with state mandates. Howard Smolik has been producing midweek virtual concerts weekly since March. The Lenten and Easter services were presented virtually. We purchased a digital version of our hymnal and a copyright license for permission to live stream our worship music. We secured funding for choral scholars in the summer months. After July, the communion serving team switched to using prepackaged wafer and juice packets for in-person services. We celebrated Worldwide Communion in October with a beautiful and meaningful presentation by the worship team and members of the congregation. Preparations for the Advent and Christmas seasons were handled differently this year, but the services still included Advent candle lighting by families and the annual Christmas Eve candlelight service. We are grateful and extend heartfelt thanks to all who have helped in so many ways by their service, suggestion, and prayers.
In-Betweeners is a group made up of retirees and empty nesters, both couples and singles. We gather usually at church every month, year-round, on fourth Friday evenings for dinner together in Christian fellowship, alternating catered food with planned potlucks. Our after-dinner programs vary widely. We have speakers and videos on topics such as New Mexico and local lore, the natural world, Bible history, music, travel, and the occasional movie. In December, there's our annual Carol Sing. That's also when we bring blankets and sleeping bags to be donated to people in need. In-Betweeners has no membership role, rather it's a matter of y'all come, and about 35 to 50 people do each month. Many have said they miss In-Betweeners since we cannot meet during the pandemic, but we will be getting together again as soon as it's feasible, so watch for us.
Jennie Curry Bible Study meets once a month, the first Thursday of the month. And we choose usually to have, well, we always pick closed caption Bible studies, and we have mostly done the study with Beth Moore. And we have about 12 women, maybe sometimes more, and lately, of course, we haven't been able to meet. We would plan, that's what our plan is, to, we would like to be able to meet in person, but we are thinking of maybe doing Zoom. But this is a chance for anyone who would like to belong. We're open. We love to have more ladies come. And we do have other women from other churches that share, that come with us. And we are so blessed. And we would be blessed if more women would come. And it was at night because when it was first started, it was for mothers that worked, or women that worked, or mothers that had to stay home during the day and only had babysitters at night. So that was why it was started. And it has continued, and it is such a blessing. We do take turns teaching. It's not really teaching, it's sharing what we have learned from our Bible study. And we do express our opinions. We share with one another. And it is a time to grow spiritually. And I do encourage the women of the church or others to please join us. Thank you.
The Vision 2012 Sanctuary Renewal Committee is pleased to report that the goals for projected improvements for the sanctuary have been fulfilled. However, while the new sound system was being installed during summer and fall of 2020, we began to notice problems with the almost new lighting system. Since they were still under warranty, a manufacturing representative came from California to troubleshoot the problem, and we can now say that all the bugs in the new installations are fixed. We are extremely grateful for Rusty Smith's assistance and expertise in relaying the problems to the companies involved and working with them on site. We are also pleased to report that we have finished the sanctuary renewal project with a balance of approximately $60,000. That being said, we now have discovered that our beautiful stained glass windows need to be repaired, as water has been found on the floor beneath a window inside the building. Because there are many possible aging problems to be handled in future years, we have approached the administration committee and asked them to draw up a policy for a new legacy fund to be presented to the session for approval. The intention is to use the remaining funds for a wider philanthropic purpose regarding the church buildings. In our first vision, beginning in 2011, we hoped to finish the sanctuary by the end of 2012, and now we find ourselves in the year 2021. We may have been unrealistically hopeful or blissfully naive, but we were committed to making the sanctuary a lasting blessing for the worship of God in His sanctuary. We offer heartfelt thanks to God for your abundant and gracious generosity and for your prayers of support and goodwill toward the project. Thank you.